Hey everyone, and welcome back to my playthrough for Digimon World 2003, and I'm diving straight in against Datamon, and I honestly do not know what way this battle is going to go. But, well, here goes nothing, and let's hope that fire works well on Datamon. Three hits, I'll settle with that. And I will settle with that. Only 2 hits. Less than 400 damage. Okay, maybe I was panicking over nothing. That will definitely be the end of him. Okay, I think I may have got a critical hit the first time, and that there was probably a critical hit as well, but no complaints from me. I think Gigafire does have quite a high, critical hit rate. I think you do get a lot of critical hits when using Gigafire. And as much as I would love to moan about that, I can't deny being very, very pleased that that is the way of things. Okay, well, I managed to win against Datamon, and very comfortably. He's told us that he can grant us access to the city, but only if we have a certain pass. So at the moment we have no means of gaining entry, but if we go back the way we came, return to the west sector, return to the secret room, and inform everyone of the circumstances, then we find out that there is hope yet. I wonder, fire's not going to help me. Cold Slash is probably the best way to go. Let's just see how I do. So I was trying to preserve my MP, but now there isn't really the desperation. So these battles might be worth the experience. Cold Slash I can definitely do with 3 attacks. Let's see how my regular attack serves me. Not as good. Although, preserving MP, rather than repeatedly use Cold Slash, I wonder if Cold Slash and 2 standard attacks is enough to do the job. Yeah, it is. I suppose the other question would be, could I do it with just 3 standard attacks? That I'm not so confident about. Rather than come back up where I came, I'm actually going to carry on, as there is an item up for grabs. I left it alone when I was on my way over to Datamon, but that's because going out of my way for it would probably result in me getting into at least 1 or 2 additional battles, which really wouldn't have helped me ahead of my battle against Datamon. But now that he's over and done with, it's not really an issue now. Yeah, I think I don't want to risk another regular attack. I'm going to try not to worry about the 38 MP that it's going to cost me per battle, and I'm just going to use 1 Cold Slash alongside of 2 regular attacks, and I think I'll just be pretty happy with that. Iron gloves. Wow, those are going to be highly treasured for the very short period of time in which they're going to be in my inventory before I sell them for money. Money which, if anything, is going to be spent on Digimon cards. That is pretty much the only thing of value that I can buy in this playthrough without breaking the rules of the challenge. So, secret room. So yeah, let's just go back the way that we came. If you are at this stage of the game and you require the use of a city, the East Sector city is running perfectly normal, so you can always go there. The South Sector city, if you go to Shell Beach, then the plug gate there takes you to Phoenix Bay. So you've got options. Even though the main city has been taken over, well, is out of bounds, should we say. Even though the main city is out of bounds and the West Sector city was taken over, we can still access the East and South Sector cities if we require any kind of urgent assistance with anything. Seeing a Piximon to alter Digivolutions, or wanting to buy weapons, armours, items. The sort of things that you would do in a standard playthrough, the sort of things that I can't be doing in a playthrough like this. But the main thing that I need from a city is the ability to save, the ability to rest. The Forest Inn grants me that. That is the next nearest place to the Azuka city, and is what I will be relying on. When going to the secret room and leaving the secret room, I may or may not go to the Pouch Oasis, you know, resting and saving, but when I'm going to the main city, for as long as it's out of bounds, the Forest Inn is going to be the place that I turn to for saving and resting, recovering my HP and MP, and when I'm in the process of taking on the AOA within the main city, depending on my discretion, I might feel like I need to leave and go to the Forest Inn to, you know, save, to, you know, store my progress, to rest, to recover my HP and MP, more so my MP. It all depends how I feel at the time, but the Forest Inn is somewhere that I will be making the most of for the time being. And thankfully we don't need to undergo all the nonsense with Numamon and Hyandromon. All we have to do is just go to the Dum Dum factory, through to like the sewer area, and just into the secret room. I seem to recall Cold Slash serving me better on Mammothmon. Or maybe I'm imagining things. That wasn't that great. Maybe it's fire that serves me well against Mammothmon. 90 MP is a fair chunk. It may seem a bit wasteful, but whatever. Okay, definitely fire. But I do need to be careful. My MP isn't much over 2000. You know, 10 gigafires is 900 MP, 20 is 1800. That's not far off, you know, my entire load of MP. So I probably should be cautious, maybe kind of reserve gigafire for when it's most needed or most going to serve me best, and I know that fire works well against this Kotemon. Yep, almost 5,000 damage. And from the secret room, I will need to go to the south sector because Lisa tells me to search her friends Keith and Nick. The same Keith who battled us on the Asuka Bridge, the same Nick who was rude to us at Divermon's Lake. They're in the south sector, in an area I don't think I've been to yet in this playthrough, but it's easy enough to get there. I just have to go to the south sector city, and there's an area where I can call Submarimon, and then go to an area within the south sector, and they're both there, and I speak to them, and then I think from there it immediately cuts back to the secret room where I am granted the secret pass thing that I need, and then I just have to make my way from the secret room to the central sector, where I will be using the identical route that I used when going after Datamon, stopping off at the forest inn should I perceive it as necessary, and going from here to the south sector, which is what I need to do in order to track down Keith and Nick. I think my best bet would be to use the plug cape. No, not the plug cape. Use the core Submarimon in the area that takes me to the South Cape. When I was in the South Cape, the bit where I cored Submarimon, which resulted in me ending up in the west sector, that's how I'm going to make it back from the west sector to the south sector, going back the way I came, and then to the south sector city. While I'm at it, it might be a good idea to speak to the Digimon within the South Sector city, just so I can sow all the useless nonsense that's weighing down my inventory, just so that there's less rubbish that I have to go through. So it's just a bit of a mess, really, just having stuff in your inventory which is pretty much of no use to you at all. It's kind of a mess and an inconvenience more than anything. Some items can't be sold though. These are the items that are most important. Thankfully, the game is sensible in that it's programmed in a way where you can't sell anything that is of importance. Important items, just any items that are significant somehow. Thankfully, you can't sell them, so there's no risk of you accidentally selling them and screwing yourself over, which is fair in my eyes. It's why with the weapons I have a few weapons. I have the old claw that Master Tyrannomon gave us, the old wand that Pharaohmon gave us, the rusty rifle that Hyandromon gave us, the what was it that Datamon gave us? Was it rusty gloves, was it? There was something, there was an item that Datamon gave us, and there's also a rusty katana which is given to you by Zambamon should you defeat him. And all of these items are actually significant because on our version, Digimon World 2003, we have like an additional bit after the game, because Digimon World 3, it just ends after you beat the final boss, but with Digimon World 2003 there's like an additional bit after that. And before you beat the final boss, I know that there are certain Digimon who spawn in certain areas at certain times if you've got your Digimon up to a certain level, although it has to be specific Digimon. And then they show up and they say about fusing together certain items in order to create a more powerful item. And when they say that, it's always one of the weapons that I just mentioned, old wand, old claw, rusty katana, etc. It's always weapons like those to be combined with an item that can be bought from a shop, not necessarily any shop, but you know, throughout the game there will be, you know, item shops where the purchase can be made. So then the items get fused together and a more powerful weapon is created. And then I think from then you like another Digimon will spawn where the item that you've just created can be fused with a different item which you buy from a shop, and then you're given like an even more powerful weapon. And then in the north sector there's like Metawetamons who can like develop items even further until you end up with like the 5 strongest I think it's called the 5 strongest epic items. And in Digimon World 2003, having those 5 strongest epic items awards you with like bonus material after you beat the final boss. And the bit after that, if you have the 5 strongest items, then you can, there's certain things you can do that you wouldn't normally be able to do, and it's just it's all like bonus material. And this all pretty much begins with the you know, the old claw or the rusty katana, and these are all items that cannot be sold because they're needed for like customizing. And yeah, it's a good thing that the game is developed in a way where you can't sell those items, so that you can't screw yourself out of like the 5 strongest like epic items. Although in my case, the 5 strongest epic items are not something I'm going to be getting my hands on, because there are several different Digimon who I would have to train up, and seeing as it's a Kotemon Solo, Kotemon is the only Digimon who I can use, which means that I can't obtain any of the items that get fused together, which requires you to get a different Digimon other than Kotemon up to a certain level. So it's impossible for me to get the 5 strongest epic items, is the gist of what I'm saying. So for me, it would be kind of easier if I could sell like the old wand and the old claw, because in my case they're just occupying space in my inventory. So for me, they're kind of nothing more than a nuisance, really. These feeble South Sector Digimon, they really need an upgrade. I said that, Numamon is a South Sector Digimon, and, well, out of the Digimon who I'm currently able to battle, Numamon's gotta be the hardest to beat. Out of all the Digimon I can battle, you know, in the Central Sector, East Sector, South Sector, West Sector, the Numamon who show in the Jungle Shrine, they're probably the toughest Digimon out there, so I probably shouldn't be too quick to assume that the South Sector Digimon are feeble. That's all of that sorted, but let's also open up that booster pack that I got. So it'd be nice to sort of get a small incline as to the sort of cards that it gets you. It'll go a long way in enabling me to decide what cardmon to grind on. Although, well, these 6 cards alone don't give the best impression in the world. Well, not to worry. When I'm grinding for cardmon, I don't have to only battle loads and loads of cardmon. I can also go to all the different cities where I can, you know, purchase loads of different cards. So, you know, there's plenty of potential for me to get a strong card folder together. It's not going to be the best in the world, but it only needs to be good enough for me to win at Dual Island. Well, I'm pleased that the Digimon who spawn in the seabed are nothing threatening. But the area I'm going to be taken to, I am a little more worried about that. I seem to recall Shogun Gekomons being the Digimon you get into battles with, and I've already explained about how their confusion is, or can be, a pain in the rear, and I think they're like classed as like water Digimon, and fire's not really gonna serve me there. I have to hope that Cold Slash will do adequate damage. So I do need to sort of familiarise myself with this area a bit. Not been here yet, but I think down there leads to Keith and Nick. However, I'm sure I remember there being at least one item sort of like loitering somewhere. Nothing up there. Okay, it is who I was fearing. I got nothing to worry about. Cold Slash is enough to take them out. 101 experience, 490 bits, that's generous. Okay, so there's one item and it's up here. Crossbow. I think that's a Munmon weapon. Right, well, Keith and Nick it is. So a nice handy shortcut straight to the secret room saves me from having to get here on foot, or should I say on foot and on Submarimon. And it's ours. Well, the staff pass is now ours, so we do now have access to the main city. Albeit not the best access in the world, because rather than just take you straight to the heart of the city, we have to like make it through the basement, and the basement is riddled with AOA, and we have to make it through them slowly but surely until we then sort of make it to, you know, the heart of the city. We have to do it the hard way. If it's any consolation though, once the AOA are all defeated, the city does then go back to normal, so we have the, you know, the normal access once again. Gonna have to stop there, but in the next part I'll be making a start on the AOA. Hope you enjoyed this part and hope to see you in the next one.